Be running live now. I'll make a start in a minute or so, just give you a few seconds to check that you've got all the software working and you're in the right place. We've got a few people that have just joined, so we'll just give them a minute to make sure that they know where they are and where to ask questions and change settings, etc. Okay, pushing on. So good morning everyone. This is a story of the I-Series Energizers and how the I-Series systems works and the benefits of the I-Series system and how it helps make electric fencing easier. I'll be your main host. My name is Byron Arnold and I'm product manager for Energizers at Gallagher. I'm based here in Hamilton, New Zealand, so for me it's night time. And helping me today is Vincent Stahl. He's product manager in Gallagher Europe, based in Groningen. If you've got any questions, I'll explain in a second where you can answer them. But before we get into that, we're going to ask a few polls today to keep everyone interactive. So we'll ask the first one now. Hopefully everyone can see that. Looks like. And only one person was born ready, and we've got nearly everyone voted. That's good enough for me to continue. Thank you. I'll close that poll. All right. So continuing on. Asking questions. On your little webinar control panel, there's a section to ask questions there. So just type in your question, fire it through, and I probably won't look at it too much as we're going through the session. The session will take about 15 to 20 minutes, but then at the end I'll try and run through all the questions, and if you've got a question there I'll try and get to it and answer it, or we'll take it away offline and come back to you later. So the first poll that I want to run is what are the problems related to electric fencing that you hear about the most? So if you just have a look at that poll screen there. Is it confidence that the electric fence will work? Is it people wondering how to check if the fence is working, how to use a tester, etc.? Issues with energizers needing repair, reliability problems that some energizers have had in the past, or not enough power? Pretty good spread of results there. I'll just give you a few more seconds. One problem's coming through quite significantly. We'll close it off in 2 seconds. So that should be sharing the results to you now. Actually, I forgot to mention earlier that I'm sharing my webcam, but you can make my face as small as you like. You can reduce the size to make the presentation a bit bigger, so do that if you like. So 60% of people have said that the major problem is not enough power, and that's a good one because I-Series is here to solve that. So I'll just hide the poll now and continue. What I want to discuss today is some electric fencing problems that we've discovered in the field, and how the I-Series solves those problems, what the I-Series system contributes to the customer, the benefits of the I-Series. And I want to take it through a bit of a discover, design, deliver process. That's what we call our development process here at Gallagher. We discover customer problems, we design a solution, and then we deliver that solution to the market at a suitable price in a a product that's packed well and with instructions so that the user can use the product to solve whatever problems it's designed to solve. And here I'm showing an image of some of the on-farm testing that we did for the I-Series range. This is a visit that we did on a farm to measure the fence communications for devices such as the fence monitor and the I-Series remote. So discover. It doesn't take much to discover that people want more power. In fact, it's come through clearly today in the poll. Energizers can't have enough power. People just want more and more. They'll buy an Energizer and then add fence onto it, and it's no longer sufficient. So the I-Series delivers on that, and in fact that was our number 2 design focus when developing the I-Series. I'll talk about the number 1 in a second. And here I'm showing the output energy of the M2800i in the orange line. What does output energy mean? Output energy is how much juice or how much power is in each pulse, each tick of the Energizer that goes down the fence. The more energy that's in the pulse, the further that pulse will travel along the line, the more vegetation you can have on the fence that it'll power through, and so on and so forth. And so you can see here the M2800i, while the peak power on a particular fence that meets certain characteristics is very similar to the Arco product, its output energy over a much wider range of fence types is significantly higher. What that means is that if you put the 2800i on any fence, the chances are a lot higher that the chances are that it's always going to be equal to, but in most cases it'll be better performance than the Arco 15000. And that's just due to the design that we've put into the transformer and matching that impedance to the fence impedance to deliver better or more effective energy. More power, but the Energizer is still safe. As Joe's shown here, about to touch the fence, when a load comes on to the fence with the M1200, the M1800i and the M2800i, the Energizer doesn't adapt up straight away. It has what's called a time delay. So it waits 20 seconds with the load on the fence, and then it starts adapting up and puts out more power. What this means is that if a person does touch the fence, they've got time to get away and remove themselves from the fence while it's still safe. Reliability. This was the absolute number 1 thing that we discovered when we did our customer journey, that we found when we visited farmers, that they want an Energizer that they know is going to perform all the time. Environmental conditions are a tough one, and the Energizer needs to work in the cold, it needs to work in the heat, and it needs to keep working consistently. So this was the number 1 design goal for the I-Series Energizers. Power was number 2, reliability was number 1. I can't say it was specifically for the I-Series, but the I-Series system helped improve the testing that we do here at Gallagher, and we've got an entire new chamber. We call it the HALT chamber, Highly Accelerated Life Testing chamber. And this here image is showing an M1200i in the chamber after it's been up to 180 degrees Celsius and down to minus 40 degrees Celsius. All the holes that you see in the back of it are holes that we've had to drill through to put various probes to measure components, etc., etc. So those aren't necessarily a problem. They're not a flaw in the product. They were deliberately made there. But this Energizer, after being up to 180 degrees and down to minus 40, is still working, and you can see the controller up the top of the screen there showing an 8 kV output. So the Energizers have been through pretty rough environments, and they've come out all colours showing. I wanted to further explain the extent that we go to with designing the Energizers, particularly these ones, to ensure the reliability. When you have a quick look at the product, I'll try and show you with my mouse here. When you have a quick look at the product, it appears as if there's a part line across the top and the middle. It's not a part line that's just part of the moulding tool. The part line is actually on the back of the product, as you can see here in this photo. And this is so that when the Energizer is mounted in the proper vertical orientation, that no water can get in through the top. So it's to help make it more waterproof, more water resistant. It is a mains energizer, so it's not ideal or not designed to be installed outside, but we know that in some environments it can get water put on it, and so this was quite an important design requirement. And you'll see down the sides, where the mouse is pointing now, is the outside plastic edge of the Energizer, and there's also an internal plastic barrier. So if water does get inside the edge here, it's channeled down this outside edge and flows out the bottom. So the Energizer's got all these additional design features put in to make sure it's more reliable than anything that we've ever built in the past, and certainly more reliable than anything else I've ever seen in the market. Another problem we've discovered with customers that they have is getting the fence information off the Energizer. Here you'll see, hopefully most of you will be familiar with the MBX 2500. This product, it's got a lovely display on it. It tells you the voltage the Energizer is running at. It tells you the joules that the Energizer is running at. But as most instances, shown here in this photo, the Energizer is installed where it can't easily be seen. To get this photo, I had to crawl in under a barn on my hands and knees just to try and get to the Energizer. The farmer would never see this information. So while the information is available on the Energizer, it's never seen by the customer, never seen by the farmer. So to solve that, we've developed the I-Series Energizer controller. And you can see here that it is waterproof. It's IP67 waterproof rated, which means that you can submerge it in 1 meter of water, 1 meter depth of water for 30 minutes and take it out afterwards, and it will still function as per required. So this device, the I-Series Energizer controller, is to put the information where it's easily seen, to make it easier to get access to what's going on the fence. You can get information at a glance. It's got a green LED that, if you've seen one, is extremely bright in the top left, and if the green LED is going, who cares, the fence is working all right. If it's a red LED, then there's something gone wrong with the system and you need to investigate further. And the Energizer controller tells you the voltage and the current that's running into your fence, and we'll discuss later with fence monitors what they help to provide. We provide it with only a 3 meter cable, but in all the installs that I've done, I've found that 3 meters is sufficient. It's usually a case of the Energizer is installed in a little pump shed or a barn or somewhere similar, and it's just a matter of putting the Energizer controller on the other side of the wall where the farmer walks often daily. But you can extend it using just standard RJ12 cables that are available from most electronic type stores, and you can extend it up to 50 meters. Is the fence working? A problem that we discovered is that the fence might be working where the farmhouse is, it might be working where the barn is, but it's not working where it's needed. And I'm trying to illustrate here with this image the size of a farm, and that a fence can be working in one place and not be working where it's needed, where the animals are down in the river paddock or on the road paddock or such forth. So shown here on the left is Leon doing what's normally required, going out onto the fence and using a fence tester to measure the voltage and the current on the fence. We've replaced Leon. The fence monitor is a device that's permanently installed on the fence line, permanently installed as you install a gate switch. It stays there the whole time, and it measures every pulse. It measures the voltage and the current of every pulse. And if there's a problem with that measurement, it sends the information back along the fence line to the Energizer, so that the Energizer can tell the farmer, the customer, that there's a problem using the Energizer controller. So the fence monitor is out on the fence permanently checking if your fence is running okay, and you can install it where it's required. So you install it, you always have animals in your road paddock and you're quite worried about the fence in that area, so you install it in that part of the fence. Fault finding takes time. So, unfortunately, not all faults are as easy to spot as this tree that's fallen on the fence here. Sometimes it's just a broken insulator. So to help reduce that time-taken process, we've developed the iSeries remote. This device, it can point in the direction of the current, so you can follow it to wherever the fault is. You follow it to where the current is flowing out of the fence wire. It measures the pressure in the line, it measures the voltage, so you know if you've got stock control with your fence. And then most significantly, you can use the iSeries remote to turn the Energizer off. So you get to wherever it is on the fence that you've found the problem, you turn the Energizer off, fix the fault, and then turn the Energizer back on, perhaps checking for further faults at the same time. Confidence. Confidence was a real key word that came out of our Discover process, where farmers, they want to have confidence that their stock is secure, they want to have confidence that their fence is working like it was when they checked it yesterday or the day before. They want to know that everything on their farm is okay. And they want to know that maybe they're just at the farmhouse or maybe they've gone off the farm. So for that, we've developed the iSeries SMS Energizer controller, and this connects into the iSeries Energizer and can send text messages to a cell phone. So you can know wherever you are if the fence is working. If you have fence monitors installed, the iSeries SMS controller will send you a text message with the voltage and the current reading at each fence monitor that you've got installed. So that means wherever you are, you're not just checking that if the Energizer is still running, you're checking the actual voltage reading out on the fence where your stock are. Farm theft. Farm theft is an emotional issue for some people, and certainly those that have been impacted by farm theft are motivated to solve it. And so I just want to have a quick poll of people here who are in attendance today. Have you met a farmer who's had problems with farm theft? So I'll just launch that. $60, 70% of people have voted. So as you can see there, pretty much all of us, there's a couple that haven't met farmers that have had problems with farm theft, but there's a lot of us that have. And certainly in my experience, farmers that have had a problem with farm theft are very motivated to do something about it. And so we've developed the iSeries alarm system. For this, you can create a loop with your fence, so you come back into the alarm system and it measures every pulse. And if there is one pulse that's missed, for example a wire's been cut, then it'll go into alarm and you can connect it up to a siren or a strobe and generate an audible alarm, a visual alarm, or you could hook it into a secondary alarm system that contacts a security company or similar. So it is a bit of work to install it, where you have to have a return wire coming back to this product. But in the instances where farmers have been affected by farm theft, often more than once, you'll find that they're very motivated, and that the effort to install it and have the return wire coming back to it is well worth it. So I wanted to summarise the electric fencing problems that I've talked about today. The first ones were more power and reliable, and those were absolutely the main focuses when we developed the iSeries Energizers, that we wanted to get the most efficient power translation onto the fence that we could. So we wanted the M1200i to be the best 12 joule Energizer possible, the M1800i to be the best 14 joule Energizer possible, and the M2800i to be the best 21 joule Energizer possible. And next one was getting Energizer information. I showed the MBX, where the LCD and the displays on the Energizer aren't easily seen because the Energizer is often hidden. Unfortunately, the Energizers make a tick, which for some people may sound like music. To others, it's not that appealing, so they hide the Energizer. So to get the information from the Energizer, we've developed the I-Series Energizer controller and the I-Series SMS controller. Farmers wanted confidence that the stock is secure. They want to know that the fence is working where it's required to work. Is it working down in my road paddock? Is it working in my river paddock? So we've developed the fence monitor, which measures the voltage and the current on the fence and sends that real information back to the Energizer. So the Energizer knows real time what's happening on the fence. Fault finding takes time. We've developed the I-Series remote and fault finder to help with that. And the last one there is farm theft with the I-Series alarm system, which integrates with the Energizer, and if it misses a pulse because the wire's been cut, or if the fence is shorted out and so the voltage is dropped too low, it'll instantly alarm and can connect to a siren and strobe. The main point of all this, and I come back to this word confidence, is that the I-Series is trying to give farmers confidence that they can rely on their fence, that they know what their fence is doing and they know that the stock is secure. And it's trying to make electric fencing easier to live with. So our last poll for the day, which of the I-Series Energizers are you familiar with? Pretty good across the board. Looks like nearly everyone is pretty familiar with the M2800i. Great stuff. So, as described earlier, we've got models to suit different farm sizes, the M1200i, the M1800i, the M2800i, and the M5800i, although because of European legislation and regulations, we can only sell the M5800i when it's installed by an authorised person. And it's similar to the 5800i, we're soon releasing the M10000i, but again, this needs to be installed by a qualified person. I wanted to lastly highlight that the M1200i is intelligent at the Energizer, but it doesn't work with the fence devices, the I-Series remote or the fence monitor. The other models in the range are intelligent at the Energizer and intelligent on the fence line. So they do work with the remote and the fence monitor devices. And lastly, to sum up, that the I-Series Energizers come from Gallagher, and along with the Energizer, you get the Gallagher service, the Gallagher advice, and the experience that we have installing Energizers worldwide. And the I-Series weren't just developed from Europe experience, they're developed to work in the outback of Australia and in cold environments as well. So they're developed across the board to work in every situation and perform better than anything else in each Energizer's class. So that's all I've got for today. Any questions I'll try and answer through the question tab on the left. Otherwise, thank you all for attendance, and hopefully you've got something out of it. Please let us know feedback on what your thoughts are of the session and other things that you'd like us to discuss, and we could maybe look to do a future session as well. Question over here. Do the fence monitor readings show on the controller? Yes, they do. So you can use the controller to scroll through and check. You can have up to 6 fence monitors connected to an Energizer, and you can use a monitor to scroll through and check the voltage and the current readings for each fence monitor. So with that, you could have up to 6 fence monitors or up to 6 alarm systems connected, or any combination of between them, so maybe 3 fence monitors and 3 alarm systems. And you can use, for each product, you can use the Energizer controller that shows the information to scroll through and get the voltage and the current reading for each device. You can also use the controller to set alarm limits. So if you want to create an alarm, if the voltage drops below 5 kV, 5,000 volts, you can use the Energizer controller to set that alarm limit. Just a question on audio. Yes, hopefully the audio worked. Another question, can a customer have more than one remote on a system? Yes. Yes, you can have as many remotes as you like connected to one Energizer. If you're going to use a remote on multiple Energizers, it needs to be what we call tuned in. And to do that, you just press and hold 2 buttons and it'll bring up a channel that the remote's on. If you have only one Energizer, it'll be just channel 1. And you can then tune it into a second Energizer. The instructions for that are a bit hard to verbalize, but they're in the instruction manual. I've just got another question come through. I mentioned the Energizer controller is IP67. I'll go back to that now. The Energizer controller is IP67. What rating does the Energizer have? The Energizer has a rating of IPX4, which means that it is rated to a spray of water from 180 degrees. So to do that test, we mount it as it would be on a wall, and we spray it from 180 degrees from the top down to the bottom, and no water is allowed to get in to affect any of the electronics. From question here, if we use 6 monitors, can we have up to 6 or up to 7 parcels? Frank, what do you mean by parcels? If you're using 6 fence monitors, then you can't have any alarm systems connected. So if you have 5 fence monitors connected, you can have 1 alarm system connected. For the SMS Energizer controller, that doesn't count. That's not a device that's displayed on the Energizer controller, so that's separate. So you can have 6 fence monitors, an SMS controller, and the display that I'm showing here, the Energizer controller. Huh. Right, parcels equals paddocks, right. So if you use 6 fence monitors, you can have 7, because the Energizer is telling you the total system current that you've got going out. So you can have 6 fence monitors, 1 on each paddock or 1 on each section of the farm, but you've got a 7th section which is coming from the Energizer. So the Energizer here shown on the screen is doing 57 amps. Oh, actually it's showing us what zone 1's doing. But if the Energizer was doing 57 amps and then in each other zone you only had current that maybe added up to 40 amps, you know that in that 7th zone you've got 17 amps. Does that answer what you wanted, Frank? And that's all. No worries. Oh, if there's no other questions today, I'll sign off. So thank you all for your attendance, and please do send your feedback through to Vincent and the team at Gallagher Europe, and hopefully we can be more helpful next time.